Hello, you guys. I hope you guys are having a great Thursday morning. I can't get over how nice it is here. It's like I've got you guys outside. You're going to hear probably the birds and stuff. There's a woodpecker that keeps, woodpecking over there. But it's like going to be 75 degrees here today, and I am so excited for that. And I'm so excited to see you guys. Hey, Boston Scallum, Mary, hey, Emma, Rescue Mom, hey, that girl, good to see you. And thank you. Hey, Terry, Curious Dreamer. Oh, by the way, Lisa, thank you so much for the super. I don't know if it was a super sticker. I can't see on StreamYard side what they were, but I appreciate that so much. I really do. Hey, Frankie. Hey, Search and Rescue Canine. Hey, Amanda. Ava. Hey, Alibi, Judge and Jury. Cynthia. Candy Cane. Michael Miller. Punksy. Hey, Amanda Meatfoot. Hey, Ava. Danny B. So many good people in here. I really wanted to come live yesterday when the search warrant was unsealed for his apartment. But there were, a couple things that happened that just got in my way. So I figured that we can just talk about it today. Hey, MK. Hey, Deco Painter. NT, and hey, Jimmy. So I did gather some interesting things, and then you guys won't believe one of the things I found. I can't still get over it. So there's just, a lot to talk about, but I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this search warrant and what they got from the scene. And we are going to go over that. Let's see. Crime Story Diva. Hey. First class crash dummy. Hey, Guidance. Hey, LFT and ATS. A woodpecker is a... Do you hear it? That was it just now. What does that mean, by the way, Kim, the woodpecker? He was sloppy, which is really interesting. But I guess I expected more. Hey, Mama Bear. So let's get right into it. Let me exit out of our video because I just have it here in the Facebook thing. And I want to show you guys some interesting few different little posts and things and websites that I've found. But first, we will start with this search warrant, I suppose, right here. Okay, so I'm going to actually drop this link in the chat because this article, there's a little attachment where you can get the entire search warrant if anybody hasn't seen it, wants to see it, that kind of thing. I know that, girl. I'm so excited too. I haven't seen you in here in forever. The omen of the woodpecker is almost always good. The bird is associated with opportunity, hard work, and perseverance. Cool. That's interesting. I expected way more from the place he went to directly after the crime, allegedly. Oh my gosh, I can't get over it. But you know what? I can't wait. Okay, let's get right into it because there are a few things that I can't wait to talk about as far as this goes. We're not going to watch this video, though.
A fluffy egg.
So a Washington court unsealed the search warrants for the office and the apartment of Bryan Kohberger. The first interesting thing is they didn't get anything from the office. I'm surprised they didn't get a computer or anything from there. I don't know. A search of his office in the school's Department of Criminal Justice turned up nothing, according to the filings. Why wouldn't they take the computer? Because, I don't know, you would think I would think they would. Police found hair samples, fabric with dark red stains, and a single black glove and other evidence at his apartment. They were initially sealed but a Washington judge ordered the release of it. So let's get to the list of what they took. The highly anticipated warrants contain new details about what they found after they arrested the suspect. And here is... Let me see. See, they list it here, but I wanted to pull up the actual list, which I can, but I'm surprised they don't have a picture of just that final page. App users go here. I'm sorry, you guys. It was so much different on the phone, which is where I gathered all this and sent it over to my thing. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not even gonna. I'll try this, but if we'll just go over the list that I already have. Because I want to go point by point because I have things to say about each thing that they got. Okay, it did work. Thank goodness. And it's all the way at the end. The list of what they got. Now, I do know they have to put every single thing that they took from here. You know, that's just the way it works. There can't be little things that they leave off. I thought it was at the end. You guys, what is going on with my brain today? I am so sorry. Okay, just a minute. I'm just going to do it like this because it's easier. Sent it to myself. Okay, here is the list of what from my phone, what they took. Okay, so first we have the nitrite black glove. While I was doing that, I couldn't see y'all's comments. Okay, but first they have this nitrite black glove. A lot of people have asked, could this be the other glove that Chris McDonough found? No, that what he found, I think, was a fabric glove. This is not. So I don't think that it is. It's a thin glove used by doctors and surgeons, Detective Juan says. Right. And a lot of times people that have a latex allergy will use these instead of latex gloves. Can we talk about them sealing the search warrant in order to protect the public and others from imminent danger? Obviously, they lied to the judge. He sealed it. No one is being held accountable. Well, the way that I always took that, because if you see, it says, you know, that it could put it, they don't want to risk him getting out, and then everyone would be in imminent danger because we have a mass murderer out on the streets. I say we asked Judge Judy. I wonder if he has a latex allergy. It's possible. And, you know, remember how red his hands were at the court hearing? I'd be interested to see if there is any kind of, yes, see, he'd been wearing regular latex gloves to stores and to clean his car, but is allergic. Interesting. Okay. So the next thing is the Walmart receipt with the Dickies tag, which made me, all I could think about was his comment about shopping in Idaho when I saw that, because I do think that they have like the 24-hour Walmart and that kind of stuff there. The Marshall's receipt, dust container from Bissell Power Force vacuum. Now, you would think that this genius, everybody talks about him like he's some genius, you know, would empty that out before he leaves to go cross country and leave his apartment there. I don't know. Oh, another interesting thing, this warrant was actually done, it was actually signed by a judge on the 29th, and he wasn't arrested until the 30th, which I think was like the middle of the night, 29th. So I thought that was interesting as well. It is possible that they were in that apartment getting stuff before he was arrested and no one knew. I don't know. I wouldn't think they would do that in case there's a ring camera or something like that, but they certainly had access to it. Which I don't know how often, like, answers, please. What time will it, like, what are the times that a judge will sign a warrant? Will they come and sign one in the middle of the night? That type of thing. I don't know. How do you know that where you're on the scene at the time of the search warrant? They said they found the owner of the one found on the scene. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. There's a difference in street smarts and book smarts. Absolutely. And there's a difference in them teaching you about court, about the system, and actually, committing a crime. You're not ever going to learn about how to commit a crime in criminal justice classes. You learn about all the other stuff, but, yeah, that could ruin. Well, no, they didn't search before it was issued. I'm saying the warrant was issued to his apartment before he was actually arrested. So they had access to the apartment legally before he was arrested. I don't think that they would have done, I think that they would have waited anyways because you don't want to tip him off, but they sign anytime. Okay, it can even be done over the phone. Interesting. Hey, Lynn, and I am sorry. I missed your call, by the way. I had a really important phone call right before my live. Had a couple calls, and then, yeah. A judge will sign one any time of day. Have had many drug warrants signed in the middle of the night. Okay, interesting. He thought he was a smooth criminal, but it turns out he's just a novice with cruel intentions. Outsmart he did not. No, it's okay, that girl. Yeah, I just said the search warrant was signed on the 29th. Okay, but let's keep going. 8 possible hair strands, which, that could be anybody's hair. I mean, any encounter that he had, anyone in the apartment, any encounter he had with other people, outside of the apartment, and then he walked in and carried it in on him. It could be anyone's, but it's still interesting. The Fire TV stick, with your Fire, because I have one of those, and you can get on YouTube. You can access just about any app. So I'm not surprised that they took that. Then we have the possible animal hair strand, which a lot of people were like, wow, what if Murphy would have helped solve this crime? That would just be so sweet. I do think that Labradoodles are hypoallergenic, so they're not supposed to shed as much, but they still shed. We've had hypoallergenic dogs that still shed. So, okay, then we have the computer tower, which I cannot wait to see what they gather from that. I think that's really, I'm happy to see that on there. I wish they would have grabbed something like that from The Office. I'm really surprised. And maybe when he was arrested, he had his laptop with him or something like that. I don't know. Then we have this one collection of dark red spots. The way that is written is so confusing to me. A red spot on what? Like, what was the red spot on? Was it like a slide, like Dexter? Like, has he been saving like blood slides? You know what I mean? That's what I thought though. Like, like bright red spot. It just made me think of like Dexter keeping the slides of people's blood that he kills. I feel like the students at this point would use laptops, not a shared PC. Could be wrong though. Well, I think so too, but I know that he had an office, like he was a student and a teacher there, and he probably would have just carried his laptop. So I'm hoping they got it at his parents' house. Ooh, we have a Labradoodle. They do leave hair here and there. Okay, thank you. Victor, no, it is 11:50 in the morning. Hey, Crime with K. Hey, Steffers. New here, listening from Northern Ireland. This case has me on the edge of my seat. It's crazy. It's all over the world, and that is so cool. And welcome. It sheds bad, but hey, it's hypoallergenic. Collected without testing. Why a collection, though? That's an odd word in this context. That should be a separate warrant, right? From what they actually, would it even be on it on the search warrant? Well, I suppose it would be like this. They would have to put everything they gathered, but between hair and a hair strand. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I'm firing up my computer. Just need a second. Hey, Tia. Oh, thank you, Victor. That's really sweet. I appreciate that. They'll have an additional warrant for his parents' house. Even people should. Yeah. Okay, so I gotta stop. We'll come back to this red spot. I don't know what that could mean, like, or what the spot was on. That is confusing. Then we have 2 cuttings from an uncased pillow. So here I'm curious again. 2 cuttings. Does this mean that investigators cut his pillow, or had he cut someone else's pillow and say, you know what I mean? I don't know. And then the top and bottom mattress cover packaged separately, both labeled C, multiple stains, 1 tested. Now this was interesting, and I actually had a conversation with Crime Sleuthin about this, and I want to show you guys. Hold on, let me go to these photos that I have. But what if, so they took the top and bottom mattress cover. Now, that just puzzled me. But I said something to Crime Sleuthin, and she said, what if he stuck his knife in between his mattresses, which would make sense. I mean, it's possible it could be something like that. So a top and bottom mattress cover is this right here. See, like this mattress encasement, that's like what I would imagine that they mean. I mean, it's packaged separately. Did they package it separately, or did Bryan have it packaged up, or did they take it off of his bed? I mean, I don't know. I've never, been a police officer or whatever, so I don't know. The mattress thing confused me. I mean, wouldn't it make sense? Hey, West Virginia Holler Girl, we've missed you too. Hey, Melissa Jade. Souvenir. A strand has a follicle. Okay. Oh, thank you, Izzy Pop. That is a good idea to look that up. Hair may include the root versus the hair strand. One has a root. Okay. Hair means it has the root too. Hey, Amber. Just called my girlfriend and her golden doodle doesn't shed. Guess it depends on the dog. Okay. See, interesting. And it could be someone else's dog. I was listening to Bryan Enton and Jennifer Coffindaffer last night, and she asked Bryan, like, when you were at his parents' house, did they have a dog? We know that Dad just came to get Bryan and help him drive home. Is it possible that he carried along a pet hair with him? And it is possible. So I don't know. DNA on the root of the hair, they'll know the exact animal. I still think he had a helper. Okay. Let me just show you guys a few of the pictures I've got, and then we'll keep going through these. Remember we talked about that cheerleader the other day that she did an interview. We went through this article actually right here in the screenshot from the Daily Mail about him being made fun of in school, and about this cheerleader who she actually was had a lot of her photos and stuff in the interview, and they were like comparing her looks to Kaylee's. It is interesting because this particular photo, they do look a lot alike, but we know that Kaylee, her hair she liked to change it up. But they do look so similar there. And I grabbed this just to show you guys. You can even get the Kabar with the U.S. Marine Corps sheath at Walmart. We know from the search, like we know he had just been at Walmart, you know. I was surprised they released all that yesterday. What is your opinion on the roommate seeing Bryan? Do you think it's suspicious she called the cops hours and hours later? Victor, so I have a lot of questions about that, but I know one thing, and I know that Dylan is going to be, actually saw on Duty Runs, they had like a little short, and it was all about protect this witness. Like, number one, she's going to be the person who probably sits on the stand and points to him and says, that's the man I saw, you know, and she's going to help in convicting this man. And not only that, you know, she's been through so much already. Can you imagine the nightmares this young lady has? Can you imagine the nightmares? Because I'm telling you guys, Bryan he's just like, I wouldn't be surprised if I had nightmares about this dude, much less the person who he was actually in her home. And she actually heard the cries, the cries that we talk about, the loud thud and the crying and the, I'm going to help you, and the things that just, you know, break your heart with this case and really like get all those human emotions and stuff flowing. She witnessed all of that in person. So I want to be very careful and not cause her any grief. I think that there's lots of time for questions. She may do interviews at one point, you know, but right now, I just think that it's a really tough time. Now, all that being said, and with it being said that I do think that we need to protect her. I do. I mean, I also have questions. It doesn't, you know, it's hard to understand. I think that she could have either been, you know, shocked and frozen, and that is why we've heard people come forward who've hid under their beds for 6 hours because of, you know, things like this. We've had people come forward who other things have happened to them and they didn't report it because they were afraid. And so I just want to take it easy on her. I don't understand it. You know, I question, could there be some sort of drugs or something like that? A reason she was scared and leery to call 911 and could have maybe called friends over first. And I don't know. That's just my own complete speculation. But I definitely want to protect her. Sorry, that freaking boat. She's going to live with this forever. Absolutely. I think she's 19, Lisa. 19. The dreams she could be having. Oh my God, I know. I've had bizarre dreams of him. I can't imagine. That's what I thought about. Like when I think about her and what she's going through is like, you know, the nightmares and things that she might be experiencing. And I just don't want to pile on to her. So I think I just want to make it a point on my channel to protect her, you know, and try to, you know, that kind of thing. She may be 20. I thought she was 19, you know, but I could be wrong. There's so much information, so much stuff with this case. There's no way to really know everything and be able to absorb everything. Okay, then I just wanted to show you guys this post. So it says, hello, everybody. I just wanted to come on here and express some things. I moved up to Moscow in October to be up here with my girlfriend who goes to the University of Idaho. We went to her hometown before everything happened. Coming home to Moscow, she got a message from a roommate that there had been a homicide and that everyone was sheltering in place. My girlfriend and I were devastated to find out it was 4 college kids who attended U of I. After everything happened, the feeling or the mood of Moscow shifted. Town became way less busy and everybody stopped coming out and walking around at night. While there was no suspect, I was scared and had several sleepless nights. I grew up in small towns of 2,500 and have never been in a town with such a brutal, huge crime scene. Over time, I prayed they'd find a suspect and arrest him. All of the news crews being here is super overwhelming and difficult at times. We're a town that's trying to heal and mourn 4 beautiful young college kids who were ripped away way too early. I'm thankful they caught Bryan. I'm also thankful Idaho has a death penalty. Rot in hell, Bryan. To the friends and family who knew the victims, stay strong. I pray you heal and justice is served. I went to the King Road home last week, and it is heartbreaking and breathtaking to see it in person. Stay strong, everyone, and stay strong, Moscow. And this was the photo that they took while they were there. And I just thought that was interesting. I mean, we've talked a lot about the community wanting the reporters to go away and them feeling like they're kind of like in a fishbowl or whatever. And I have some really interesting articles, but let me see if there was any other screenshots. Oh, I know there is. So another thing, the Facebook groups about Bryan and his innocence have started to emerge, and it's really kind of shocking and concerning how many that there are. So I'm waiting on the screenshot to come through so I can show you guys. Hey, Bear of Love. Okay, so look at this. And I'm going to show you guys about a alarming website as well, but I'm going to wait until closer to the end for that. So we have justice for Bryan Kohberger, justice for Bryan Kohberger, justice for Bryan Kohberger, innocence investigations, Bryan and the Idaho 4. Bryan Kohberger is innocent. I mean, wow. Justice for Bryan Kohberger. The state versus Bryan. Okay, so that Bryan Kohberger is innocent group. I actually did find an article that we're going to look at today. Which the new details in Bryan's case give the defense room to fuel doubt. That one. But let's start all the way here at the beginning of the articles that I wanted to show you guys. So the first one, this came out just right before the affidavit dropped. And it's, of course, taking a backseat to the affidavit, but there were people that talked about this. Now, I thought this was so interesting because it's like, this is exactly how he got caught. We heard it was from ancestral DNA of some sort. It's just funny that, he had just given his DNA. So Kohberger told neighbor of prior DNA tests, raising questions about how police found him. Bryan Kohberger told a fellow Washington State University graduate living on the same on-campus housing complex he submitted his DNA for consumer genetic testing to explore his ancestry. Kohberger's neighbors said the two became acquainted while crossing paths on the residential property a handful of times after they both moved here in August. So did Bryan move there in August or June? For sure, because that's something that the Reddit post that was supposedly his mom wouldn't line up with this, but I'm just reading you what the article says. The WSU PhD student lives across from the apartment where Bryan resided until recently. In their longest interaction, the first Friday of the fall semester, they spent about an hour chatting. Let's see. That August evening, the two grad students ran into each other in the large housing complex's parking lot next to their buildings. The man said during an interview at his apartment, okay. Kohberger then asked him if he wanted to walk and talk, he said, and the two got to know each other a little while taking laps around the asphalt parking area. During their discussion, Kohberger asked his neighbor, who is not from the U.S., whether he could identify Kohberger's ancestral background. The man said. The neighbor said he guessed Italy before Kohberger stated that he was of German descent. He talked about his ancestors, the 30-year-old neighbor said. He had some sort of DNA test. I don't know how he got to that point. It was just interesting to him. This detail could shed new light on growing reports that investigators used public genealogy databases to land on Kohberger as the alleged killer. Citing law enforcement sources, multiple news outlets, including Fox News, CNN, and ABC News, reported as early as the day after his arrest that, that's how he was found. A single source of male DNA was recovered from the button snap on a K-Bar brand leather knife sheath found next to Maddie. We know that. See if there's anything else from this neighbor in this article. Okay, Kohberger's neighbor told the Statesman that he was back in his home nation for WSU's winter break when he heard police arrested a suspect in the Moscow case. A friend posted a message in a group WhatsApp thread, he said, noting that the person lived in the man's housing complex. He said he immediately searched for more information on Google and saw that Kohberger was the person accused of this crime. It's shocking, the man said, still seeing his picture on the news. It's very shocking. He thought back to Kohberger owning a white Hyundai Elantra that he parked in the lot where they walked together several months earlier. Moscow police were seeking information about anyone driving such a vehicle. The last time he saw Kohberger, the man said, was either the last week of November or the first week of December, 2 or 3 weeks after the incident, roughly 9 miles away, which quickly drew national attention to the region. Sorry, you guys, I got a text message. The neighbor said they greeted each other in passing, and he didn't notice or remember anything different about Kohberger from that short interaction. He jogged his memory with the Statesman on Sunday, recalling his walk with Kohberger in August. What he said was his only substantive, I don't know how to say that, substantial conversation with his neighbor. Their other exchanges entailed the two students saying hello, and Kohberger suggested they go on a hike together sometime. Many people here were partying, and you could hear it all over the city, the neighbor said. He said he was not into partying. He said they're wasting their time or something like that. Interesting. Because we knew that he was into drugs back in the day, and many people have wondered if he had ever, and we've talked about on here, if he had ever been in the house, like maybe possibly at a party. I'm reading an article. Y'all can't even see. I apologize. Hey, Riddler. Being in the military should be the number one disqualifier from police employment. Why is that? Wonder if they went to Tri-State for the knife. They sell everything. Well, it's even sold at Walmart, so I don't know. I mean, and he could have gotten it at a knife show or some kind of gun show or something like that. Kohberger shared with him that he only ate one meal per day, the man said. Kohberger is vegan and has requested his meals in jail be in accordance with his preferred diet. 1 meal a day. Listen to this. Over the course of Kohberger and his neighbor's conversation, which included discussion of their areas of research, the man said he couldn't recall Kohberger ever smiling or laughing. He was kind of serious, a very serious person, the neighbor said. Investigators also appear interested in the man's recollections of Kohberger. Detectives with the Moscow Police Department last week contacted him about their relationship, he said, after they found his cell phone number in Kohberger's phone. Just how we met each other, what was his personality, these kinds of things, he told the Statesman, declining to offer more specifics, citing the nature of the situation and law enforcement's involvement. He also gave, police a screenshot of his text messages with Kohberger. Hey, neighbor, how was your semester so far? A text dated September 21st that appeared to be from Kohberger read. The neighbor said he was too busy to reply at the time and later forgot. The two didn't text again, he said. Okay. Other neighbors recalled the night owl too, and we've talked about this some. They said the resident directly below his second-story unit had a sign that said no interviews, thank you. Several other neighbors either declined statement requests to speak about Kohberger or said they didn't know him. Angela Alvarez, a WSU senior psychology major, lives with her family in the other first-floor unit, but said she was unavailable to talk. She previously told the Daily Beast she's the one who said he was a night owl. Remember the person who said that he was always up, after everyone else was in bed. She said she'd rarely see him before midnight. He would usually park his white Elantra right in front of her unit. I always see his headlights flash in front of my windows. The parking space was one of the few vacant in front of the building Sunday as police took Kohberger into custody in eastern Pennsylvania. And there's his apartment complex. Another unidentified neighbor told CBS News that Kohberger mentioned the killings, and we talked about that, and where he said that they had no leads and that kind of thing. We're going to go on to the next article, though, because there's quite a few that I want to go through, and I don't want to get stuck here too long. So let's see. Oh, okay. So there are a couple interesting things. Now, the first one I think we'll read is the one that I found on group about justice for Bryan. And this is about, there being holes in his defense. Also, there was an interesting event that took place the night of the murders, and we're going to read about that, but just briefly, I'll tell you. So there was a big accident outside of his house. But the interesting thing is, I think someone purposely hit someone with a car. It was a whole thing. Police were out there all night long. They had the road blocked off. And they were there all night. So it does kind of tie in because, number one, on all of their dash cams, they're going to see when he came back and left again and that kind of stuff, which I would love to see. Justice for Bryan. I know. The K-bar knife will be the most commonly purchased knife, no doubt. A lot of people have them. Is lunch about ready? Michael, not yet. Well, my kids aren't here, so if he used heroin, then he used other drugs too. I don't know anybody that starts with heroin. Yeah, me neither. I agree. There's a spinning circle. Hey, Cotton Candy. Okay. New detail in Bryan Kohberger case gives defense room to fuel doubt. This was written on Tuesday. One possible hole for Bryan Kohberger's defense team could link his alleged movement listed in the Moscow, Idaho police probable cause affidavit. Possible. Let's see. Kohberger, 28, was arrested in Pennsylvania on December 30th. We know all of that. The affidavit states that on November 13th, the day of the killings, his cell phone number pinged a cell tower near his apartment at 1630 Northeast Valley Road at 2:42 a.m. At 2:44 a.m., Kohberger was seen on surveillance footage from Washington State University traveling north on Southeast Nevada Street at Northeast Stadium Way. However, Newsweek drove from Kohberger's residence to the street listed in the affidavit, and the trip took just over 7 minutes. Other possible routes shown on Google Maps have estimated times of 7 to 8 minutes. Kohberger has not entered a plea in the murders, and his former lawyer, Jason Labar, previously said that the PhD student was eager to be exonerated. While speaking with Newsweek on Tuesday, Jennifer Coffindaffer explained that the difference in times of both drives could be related to an issue with the cell tower serving Kohberger's apartment and the security cameras used. She said cell tower pings are within a range, usually around 3/4 of a mile or so. The video surveillance, there's margin for error because we don't know if the time was exact, she told Newsweek. She went on to explain that the timing of Kohberger's alleged movements may be used by his defense team in trial. The defense is going to have a field day with ping information as well as video surveillance because there's going to be disparities in time frames. Both the defense and the prosecution are going to have experts in this area, Coffindaffer said. It's going to come down to a battle of the experts on this point, and the jury is going to have to make a decision whether they believe the prosecution's point of view or the defense's point of view. Oftentimes, that's what these trials are, a battle of the experts. Who has a better expert? Which one is more, speaks to the jury in a way that they understand more and, that kind of thing. Coffindaffer also said that a defense team expert might look into the cell tower pings and discover that phones much further away could be using the same tower. Niyama Ramani, former federal prosecutor and president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, also spoke to week about how the time differences stated in the affidavit may be used in his defense. If there is any argument to be made that the cell site service is inaccurate, that's going to be good for the defense. I'm sure they're going to have an expert that's not necessarily junk science, but it's far from as accurate as the state presents it to be. Like Coffindaffer, Romani said that the trial will likely be a battle of the experts, adding that this is what you want as a defense attorney. You want to kind of inject some doubt into the jury's deliberation. If they doubt the data being provided and analysis is inaccurate, that's just really all you need. You don't need actual innocence, you just need reasonable doubt, he said. According to Ramani, cellular data may be more reliable in terms of tracking movement when compared to surveillance footage, as he said that the exact time on the cameras may vary. On the other hand, Thomas O'Connor, senior consultant for the Sofin Group and a retired FBI agent, told Newsweek that surveillance cameras could be off by a couple of minutes, but said that if authorities mentioned it in the affidavit, they likely determined that the timing was possible. Newsweek did reach out to his lawyer, but she declined to comment. Hold on, you guys. I can't see your comments just yet. I'm having to make my computer a little brighter. And I'm going to pull up our next article while I'm right here. And come check on you guys for a moment. Oh, welcome. Was that Cotton Candy? Welcome, Cotton Candy Investigates. Thank you for joining. Let's see. If law enforcement was out front of his apartment on the accident all night, don't you think he was pretty dead set on killing on that specific day because he had to go past them both to and from? Yeah. I mean, when I saw that, I thought that was super interesting. Actually hadn't.
Bagels are back at McDonald's. A fluffy egg, 2 slices of cheese, plus your choice of steak patty, bacon, or
Sorry,
sausage.
McDonald's interrupted me. But I actually hadn't even heard of this wreck out in front of the house either. And I thought it's a huge deal. I think that he's definitely was dead. Why that day? Why couldn't, I don't know. I don't know. You can buy a used USMC K-bar, but lose the sheath with USMC insignia. Thank you, Lynn. I missed it. Thank you, Roxanne, for even asking. Lynn posted it, and thank you so much. That's really sweet. I do worry about the phone ping. Someone said they checked, and the closest AT&T tower is 6 miles away. I worry about them too, but I have faith that they have more than just your general phone ping, because the experts in the FBI, they can get very just think of Lori Vallow's case. I keep going back to that, but they knew exactly where in Chad Daybell's yard Alex Cox was standing. I mean, when he buried the fire and all the stuff, and when he buried the babies. Mary Jane, thank you. KK May, thank you. I think you're doing amazing. Thank you so much. Always so classy. Appreciate that. Darn it, McDonald's. I'm hungry for McDonald's too now, you guys. Okay. Now, we also had reports that he used Instagram to contact one of the victims. Now, I want to talk about that for a second, because the first magazine that put that out was People Magazine. Now, I have heard that they have very good sources, that they can get, a lot of good information, okay? But a police source said, quote, he slid into the DMs of one of the victims. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but the verbiage there is kind of odd. I made like a short little video mentioning this, but I don't know. Yeah. So this article from Fox News came out this morning. It says Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger was likely motivated by arousal and hatred when he slipped into an off-campus home in the dead of the night and allegedly killed these 4 students. By the way, we'll do the accident article right after this. He would have been in a heightened state of arousal, and that means he was emotionally aroused or even sexually aroused as he was killing those girls. And I suspect it was both, said retired FBI profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole. That heightened state of arousal is driven by hatred, not anger, she added. It's a very dark mindset. It's not highly impulsive. It's not reckless. It's, I hate this person. They have to die, she said. Thank you. I think that was Cash App, but yeah, thank you so much. That's really, really sweet, Roxanne. Thank you. It's a very dark mindset. Okay, so O'Toole suspects that the criminology student's main target was Gonsalves or Mogan, or possibly both women. And I agree. I tend to think it's possibly Maddie, but I could be wrong. A K-bar knife sheath was left beside Mogan's body, suggesting that the rampage began in her bedroom before the killer likely descended to the second floor where he attacked Ethan and Kernodle. Chapin did not live at the King Road home. And here we have just a photo of the home, which we've seen many times. But, I've heard experts say that they don't believe he would have started on the third floor because actually, I think it was Chris McDonough. He said he didn't believe he would have started on the third floor because that would be like trapping yourself in a house full of people. To me, especially since we've got the affidavit out, and I would assume that it's written in chronological order. It starts with the burglary and then Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, Ethan, I think is how it goes. I think that he started on the third floor. I don't know. I'm curious. What do you guys think? Do you believe, like, with that school of thought, that maybe he wouldn't start up there because he'd be trapping himself with a house full of people? Or, ooh, I love an everything bagel. He had such an ego that he thought he would not get caught even by going past the law enforcement. So I have to make sure we have time to look at that and one other website before we go, because there's two things I really want to show you guys. So let me see. Motives for some crimes are unusual in that they lie in the offender, O'Toole told Fox News Digital. He hated them. He needed them dead. Had they done anything to him? No. The victims were like objects to the killer. It is unclear if the slain students had ever met Kohberger, but it was revealed Tuesday he had repeatedly sent a series of messages to one of the women on Instagram 2 weeks before the slayings, People magazine reported. Here's the quote. He slid into one of the girls' DMs several times, but she didn't respond. The source told the publication, basically, it was just him saying, hey, how are you? But he did it again and again. I don't know if I believe that, you guys. I really don't. I think, you know how people say, like, YouTuber, like people talk about YouTubers, like covering certain things. The news is the same way. They're going to cover the stories that people want to hear and want to talk about. And I think that some of them will have fake sources. Some of them will make stuff up. It's just the world we live in, unfortunately. I mean, it could be true, but until I hear that from law enforcement, just the way that it was told, I don't believe it. I think it's possible, but the report didn't specify which female victim received the messages. O'Toole said the slightest perceived rejection or dismissal could set off a psychopath whose victims tend to be strangers. She said offenders of this type become injustice collectors. But the victims were allegedly in Kohberger's sights long before his Instagram messages were ignored. Because we know, yes, including August 21st, the day before classes start at his school where he's going to be helping teach these classes. He's out, almost at like midnight hours. I think it was right before midnight, but I don't know. There's so much. But regardless, he's out pretty late, right by their house, instead of being at home getting ready for school. Chris Swecker, the retired head of FBI's Criminal Investigation Division, agreed with O'Toole, drawing comparisons to serial killer Ted Bundy. You can't project normal motives to a killer like this, he said. Kohberger was an awkward person, disconnected on the fringes and margins, and not well adjusted to society. The victims had a large social media presence and attracted a lot of attention online, Sweckner noted. We know he was trying to contact one of the victims aggressively and persistently. He said, guys like that, I think all of their lives, they are building up to this point of resentment where it kind of boils over. So he says it as if it's a fact, and maybe it is in the police stuff, but I don't know. There's Ted Bundy. Much like Bundy, Kohberger couldn't interact with women in a normal way. This was Kohberger's way of possessing these women and having total control. So, okay, let me pull up now about this car accident. Okay. Let me just come and check on you guys for just a moment. I don't want to miss anything important. Started on third floor. I definitely think Maddie was first. And with the way that, Kaylee's bed seems to have been just turned down, it would make sense that if Maddie was being attacked, Kaylee could have awoken to that, or not awoken, been laying there, about to go to sleep, whatever, and or had just fallen asleep and goes in there to see what's going on. But then again, we just don't know yet. I think, hey, Jana, we don't know for sure until law enforcement comes out with it, and they will know, because the blood, one of the victims is going to have everyone else's blood in their wounds, and I think they'll be able to tell that way. I think I want to hear what law enforcement and prosecution has to say and how the defense navigates and explains that. Yeah, I'm not buying it without proof. Yeah, I'm with you. Yes, they said slid into the DMs. Direct quote. I don't know. It's crazy. Hey, Britt. Slid into the DM. Sounds like a 12-year-old trying to be cool. We got to hear a boomer say it on Court TV. They wouldn't even write that all. Such a casual way. I'm not convinced. Hey, Tiffany, by the way. I think he was attacking Maddie, and Kaylee came in on them and struggled, and he forgot about the sheath in the surprise of Kaylee, or woke up. That is really interesting. He could have forgotten about it in the surprise of her. I know that, Kaylee's family is hopeful that maybe they yanked it off of him. Oh, Brittany, thank you. That's really sweet, and I love you too. Thank you. Thank you. Bundy had a regular girlfriend with a child. I know. She did an Amazon series, a TV series about life with him. I think she did a Netflix special too. It was really, really interesting. I think he went into the room with the dog first. Well, that was in Kaylee's room. We know that her bed was just slightly turned down. It looked like somebody had laid in it, but Brandy. Thank you again, Brittany. Thank you. You guys are really sweet, and I appreciate that a lot. If he was wearing Dickies coveralls, there's no belt loops on there. I saw that. Someone in the Facebook group had posted the pair of Dickies coveralls you can get from Walmart. We can go look at some of that if we have time. So this is the wreck that I was talking about. So just hours before the Idaho murders, another grisly scene unfolded outside. And I read through this quick, so I might be wrong, but I think it was purposeful, but let me see. Throughout Bryan Kohberger's journey to Moscow and back home to Pullman, police and sheriff deputies spent hours in front of Kohberger's home responding to a horrifying hit and run. Kohberger, a graduate student accused of killing, the 4 University of Idaho students, lived in a campus apartment near Washington State University. Data pulled from Kohberger's cell phone revealed that he traveled to the house where the murders occurred no fewer than 12 times. And on the night the murders occurred, he traveled there once again, the data shows. Hours before his travels, Washington State University police officers and Whitman County Sheriff deputies arrived in front of his home to respond to a different bloody crime scene. The crash was reported at 11:40 p.m. on November 12th, 3 hours before he left his home for Idaho, and resulted in 2 pedestrians being sent to the hospital with serious injuries. Turner Gardner, 26, told Insider that a man had been thrown from the road and a woman lay face down screaming. It was horrifying, she said, coming upon the scene just before midnight on November 12th. I heard a screech and a loud bang, another witness, Andrea McKinsley, told Insider. It was scary. So maybe it wasn't purposeful, and I don't know. Let me keep reading. The police eventually took a 19-year-old Kappa Delta sorority member into custody following a manhunt and charged her with vehicular assault and DUI, according to police and news reports. There's a chance Kohberger witnessed the crash before leaving his apartment at 2:42 a.m., according to cellular data and traffic camera footage. Cellular data indicates he was at home during the crash and could hear and see the street from a second-story window. Neighbors and court documents have described him as an insomniac. After the crash in the early hours of Sunday, Kohberger drove his white Hyundai Elantra sedan 11 miles to Moscow. The police response to the hit and run blocked the most direct way to Kohberger's home, one of only 2 ways to access his apartment building. The route that was open that night requires turning 4 times on residential streets and going over 4 speed bumps before connecting to a main road. The route the police blocked had 1 turn and 1 speed bump. Prosecutors allege he then committed the grisly killings. By 5:30 a.m., his cell towers show him back at his home. Witnesses said the police were still on his street responding to the crash at 5:30 when he came back. Kohberger left again at 9 a.m. He left his apartment at 9 a.m., traveling to the scene of the murders before returning home, prosecutors allege. And then once more at noon, when the Moscow police commenced their hunt for the killer, Kohberger's phone pings indicate he likely slipped out of his apartment and passed the Pullman police once more. I wonder if on their body cams you can see this. I don't know. While authorities had no reason to believe 4 people had been murdered in the neighboring town with its own police force, it's unclear whether the crash had anything to do with the killings or was a simple coincidence. It makes you wonder if things could have been different. What? How would it have anything to do with it? That's just such a dumb way to end this article. Regardless, there was a big crash, right outside of his place that he had to pass and see, until the morning. I love being read to. I know a lot of people don't they're not looking at the screen while they listen, so I like to read everything we look at, thoroughly for those people. I've always thought he snuck in quietly on the 2nd floor and went to the 3rd floor. Then I think DoorDash came, so he realized he had to sneak back out or do more damage. But Xana saw him and led him to Xana's room. It would be pretty interesting to get the body camera footage from those, which, I doubt we can. I don't know if you would be allowed to get that for those crashes, or would it be part of the investigation? But it would be interesting if he was seen on there. The reason I think he got the 2 girls first is because if he got Xana first, Kay and Maddie had a chance to call 911 or run, considering it would have been a loud noise, in my opinion. And that you really appreciate that, and that you read the comments so we don't have to stop and look what you're responding to. That was one of my biggest, people would get pretty mad at me when I first started because I would answer comments, but I wouldn't read them out. So I've tried to get myself in the habit. I'm all about trying to make it an easier and better show for you guys and for me too, I'm really curious about these mattress covers. I don't know. That is so weird to me. Okay, so the last one, let's see. I'm trying to think what the other thing I definitely wanted to get to was. Don't think it's this one, but oh, thank you, Mary Jane. It's all in the small things. Yep. I still want to know what Steve meant by they fought like hell on the second floor. I can't imagine the scene. I can't either. And you know, I'm really curious about the kitchen. I know that this was debated early on, a cabinet that you could see through the window. Some thought it was blood, some didn't. I think that it was, and I feared that the kitchen was probably, that's just what I wonder about, like Dylan and her friends, like that next day, like, I don't know. I got to stop myself because, like I said, I do want to protect Dylan here. I want to be really careful. I know that, you know, she's already going through a lot, and I don't know. Yes, he said a battle going on downstairs. Yep, Kelly Dime, I agree. Oh, thank you, Bismo Funyuns. Thank you. Ooh, I love Funyuns. Funyuns are the bomb. So thank you so much and welcome. Okay, so let me just read this article. There was something else I wanted to show you guys, but I don't know. I've lost my train of thought on that. Maybe it'll come back. Suspected quadruple murderer Bryan Kohberger appears to be preparing to fight the allegations against him in court, with legal experts warning that the case is not a slam dunk. I'm just going to go down to the legal experts. That's what I want to hear from. Daily Mail looks at the reasons why police were able to obtain an arrest warrant and why there are still questions being raised over whether he will be convicted. 5 reasons why Kohberger was arrested. DNA found on knife sheath. And then they show from the affidavit about that. The car spotted at the scene. Let's see what they say. Phone signal vanishes. Stalked the property 12 times, and the pictures haven't loaded yet, but messaging one of the victims before the murders, which we don't even know if that's true, but okay. He reportedly, quote, slid into the DMs of one of the girls saying, "How are you?" over and over again. Sources tell people, whatever. That is just whatever. Maybe, but maybe not. 5 reasons why conviction isn't a slam dunk. 1, surviving roommate failed to call the cops and gave vague description of the suspect. So what does that have to do with? I guess, but Dylan came face to face. She froze with him. The delay between Dylan spotting the suspected killer and calling the police allowed the suspect to flee the scene and possibly dispose of evidence. That's true. I mean, if she had called the cops then, so I guess I get their point there. I think my computer froze on that. Let me check, you guys. How do you interpret in the search warrant listing receipt and tag? I don't know. Let's go back to it for a second since that article froze there. The receipt was one Dickie's tag. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he did get those overalls and yank the tag off, and like as soon as he got them, while he still had the receipt out and they were kept together. If it was the overalls, that just takes a lot of like jumping from speculation to speculation. But, maybe something like that. I know, Terry, it is. It's so, so sad. Why would they take his Fire Stick? Well, Paul, on your Fire Stick, you can do a lot of stuff, but one thing that you can do is YouTube, so they could see what he was watching and what he was searching and that kind of stuff. Also, I don't know. I think there's other apps that you can use for like communication and stuff on there. But I think YouTube, I don't know. I don't use my Fire Stick to the fullest. There's probably a lot it could do that I don't know about. Hey, Shakes Her Fist. Is there anyone to confirm that you can buy drugs from that house other than the taxi driver who said so? Rich Buddy, I don't believe that. I mean, in the Facebook groups and stuff like that, you're definitely seeing that as a theme. Like, number one, I've talked about it here. This is not what a trap house looks like. Trap houses usually don't have like the good vibes, light signs, and pretty girls all over, and healthy looking people. Typically, it's quite the opposite. So I don't know. Ooh, you can Google on a Fire Stick or anything? Oh, wow, I didn't know that, MK. I use my Fire Stick instead of my smart TV. I think one of the biggest issues is 150 people party at the residence the night before. BK and defense could say he was there. Explains DNA on anything in the apartment. I completely agree. Actually, I think Brittany's doing a live on that party later. But yes, that's exactly what I thought. I thought from the beginning, to me, number one, I can't help but wonder if he had been in there before anyways. And with them having parties all the time, I mean, you could easily sneak in and out of a house. Like, I don't know. I just think that, the chances are probably pretty decent of him having been in there before at some sort of party. And if not, then exactly, he can use it as his defense and say, I was there. But the only problem with that is, like, if he says I was there the night before, wouldn't his, they have to line up his phone pings and all that stuff as well, and to prove it. The Dickie coveralls I viewed does not have a belt. Okay, let's go look at that, because I know I kind of saw the same thing this morning in this Facebook group. And with this account, I don't do anything except for these groups. So I think this one is the one. Okay. Recent media. Let's see if the picture's right here somewhere at the top. There's a lot of people in this group, so, people post on it like crazy. Getting ready for work, logging in. I'm sorry, that meme is funny. We're going to just go down the list for a moment. Let me see. Says that the land of make-believe that a boogeyman known as Bryan Kohberger could single-handedly have killed 4 healthy students, including 1 male. I remembered what I wanted to show you guys now, and I have to show you this because I want us to debunk it together. So hold on. We can come back to this, but this is just so important, and you're going to be glad that we took that we're looking. Okay, so I found this freaking website. These people have went and created a website. Hold on. And property owners and cars and drugs. Oh my. So this is basically a website that they went and bought the domain, and they're trying to prove that this is a cover-up. I think it's all bullshit, but I want to do, like on my channel, I want to go through and actually debunk all of this. I have not seen this anywhere. Look, it's a website, http uofidahocoverup.com. If you just type that in, you can get here. And it's Greek cover-up at the University of Idaho. Now, I thought for a second maybe I shouldn't talk about this because I don't believe it to be true, and I want us to unprove it step by step. But then again, why not? I mean, you're going to hear about it somewhere else, I'm sure, anyways. I'm just mind blown that someone has went out and purchased the domain and all of that. Let's see. Oh, thank you for joining, Leah. Welcome. So this is, hey, Donna, thank you. This is all about, I don't believe any of it to be true. I think that maybe we'll do a live stream in the future and just go through it and debunk it all. But yeah, people are crazy. We've got Justice for Bryan groups. We've got people purchasing domains to create websites about how this is some sort of cover up. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't think Bryan was a druggie any longer. I would not be able to study on drugs. A PhD is hard. Most of us cannot do it sober. I agree. From the beginning, I was surprised that he was ever on drugs and went on to have the discipline that it takes to get a PhD. And I find it really hard to believe that drugs are that he's doing drugs while getting his PhD, except for maybe Adderall or something like that. College students are known to use that to stay up, to study or to do homework or whatever. This is it, Annie. That's the one. That's exactly what this is. This has to do with him being in Colorado, like going that way and everything. And maybe we'll go on a mission to debunk this and we'll prove that it's true. I don't believe so, but I mean, why not at least try? Some do take drugs and able to study. Yeah, I know, but heroin, like I could, you guys know I'm in recovery. I'm almost 7 years in recovery. In the summertime, I'll be 7 years. And heroin was something that I did take at one time. And there's not long that you go from, I don't know, you go downhill really fast on that shit. You don't care about anything that's important. It gets to a point where that is literally all you care about. And it's just hard to, like, I can see people doing Adderall or maybe like some pain pills or something, but a heroin addiction, I don't think so. Thank you guys. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, Soulstar. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that so much. I miss my Vyvanse scripts. It could have been something like that. Vyvanse is similar to Adderall, which is similar to Molly. We've heard the Molly theory. You guys, that's basically, what that is. That's how it feels anyway. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mary Jane. More like Coke, not heroin. Former addict myself. Oh, that is so awesome. Congrats, Count Time. You just hit your 6 years. Thank you, Lindsay. Oh my gosh, your fiance went to detox last night. That is so awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. It's going to be tough at first, but it is so worth it. I have a series that I've done on addiction. If anybody likes that kind of stuff, if you watch the first one, you'll probably cry because we watched some, oh my God, just touching videos. Like this one girl sitting on her sister's grave, people talking about their loved ones they had lost. Just what it does that's my next series, what addiction does to the family, because oftentimes in our addiction, we just become so self-centered that we don't even think about who we're affecting, while the whole time our families are suffering way worse than we are because they don't get a break of being high out of their minds to relax and enjoy it. They have to deal with reality all the time. I had oxycodone one time because I loved it. Yeah, it is nasty and scary. Thank you, Peach. Oh, welcome, Pizza Chemist. Thank you. My husband struggled with addiction too. Yeah, it does not discriminate. Addiction, it doesn't matter how much money you make, what color your skin is, who you like to lay down with at night. It doesn't matter. It will reach anybody and everybody. Thank you, Detective Juan. There are casual crackheads that can use and function normal daily. Casual heroin use, not so much. Hey, Angie. I've been through treatment twice. I've been to rehab twice too, which was not what actually ended up getting me clean in the end. It's crazy because it's just until it's the right time. I don't know. I do not miss waking up like that either. Count time. Hey, Trulia. Good to see you, beautiful. Thank you, Tiffany. Oh, thank you, Riddler. You're so sweet. Oh, 13 years. Congratulations, Princess Sarah. I'm sorry, shakes her fist. One day I hope she'll come around. You would never be able to pull off drug use as a teacher's assistant daily in front of all those students daily, as well as pass classes with A's like he did. People who don't agree never went to university. I need to watch. I'm still learning about it. We've been down together for 6 years and he relapsed. Oh my God. Oh, I know. That's why I know. I'm telling you, it is hard on the addict, yes, but it is 10 times harder on the family. It just is. Having been on both sides, because now in my recovery, I've been on that other side too. And I can just tell you, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Rescue Mom. I hurt my parents a lot, Detective Juan. I still feel guilty about that. Holly Daniels, I know most people don't make it out alive. I've got so many friends who didn't, close friends. I lost my best friend in the whole world to it, except for she didn't overdose. She died from cardiac arrest, from withdrawal, from Xanax and stuff. So, hey, Heather. Hope you're doing okay. I believe smoking is an addiction, Angie, for sure. I'm 45 and tried all my adult life to help her admit and get help so I can maintain a relationship with her. Aw. I'm so sorry, Brandy. It's hard, Vicky. It is. It's tough. But yeah, congrats to anybody in here who's done that. And anybody who's having to watch your family members go through that. I am so sorry. I'm really so sorry. There are a lot of groups, though, that can help. If you don't have a friend who's been through it or something like that, there's Al-Anon and Nar-Anon. These are groups for the family members of the addict. Everyone in the group will be a family member. It's support for the support, because you're supporting an addict all the time, trying to be supportive, but you need support too. So, okay, so I'm going to let you guys go in a second. I want to flip through this and see if we can find those coveralls or if there's anything else super noteworthy that we want to look at immediately. What is this? For those that wonder how the blood got on the outside of the house, this is a diagram on how most houses' walls are made. The bottom plate where the bolt is going through, there are small gaps between it and the slab of the house. This is where blood flowed to the outside. Edit to show as a subfloor with no slab. I have included another pic to show where in the room they may have been. Judging by the affidavit, Xana was in the floor and Ethan was in the bed. Huh? I'm assuming it doesn't state he was on the floor. If that is correct, then Xana would probably be near the spot where the blood would be coming from the house. Just my opinion. Oh my God, that is so sad. It is just. I wonder what the friends thought when they show up. Here's those coveralls, you guys. When they show up the next day to to like help, and they see the blood on the outside of the house and in the house and everything. I just can't imagine what was going through their mind. Okay, look, evidence Dickies tag. It could be anything from this to underwear, but if it was this outfit, my question is, I highly doubt he wore a belt. So I'm thinking the sheath wasn't around his waist at all. Maybe that's why he may have been carrying it, because he couldn't attach it to the snap of his waist. But why carry it? He could lose it in the heat of his rage. My speculation, it's this suit. So we saw there's a Walmart receipt and a Dickies tag. They found this can be purchased at Walmart. It doesn't have belt loops. He did something, because he does not have a washer and dryer. He's using a community washer and dryer. Peach, we don't know for certain. All we know is in this report that came out yesterday, they mention a Dickies tag and a Walmart bag. This is just like speculation that's been going around. They were talking about in the chat, people that had seen this Dickies suit, and it's coming from this Facebook group. You know, people are wondering, could this be what the Dickies tag was to? Let's see if there's anything else. The search warrant, one Walmart receipt. See, someone else had shared it. There's a lot of people talking about that Dickies outfit. Oh, okay. This is the policy for his apartment complex. This is why these Facebook groups I go through before the lives usually, and I'll start taking like all the different interesting things, because a lot of people do a lot of digging. You know, people are smart and they put in a lot of time and effort into finding stuff. So his apartment complex, no animals, birds, or reptiles are allowed to be kept there or allowed to visit. They're not allowed to be on the premises at all. But remember, his dad was there. We don't know if they have a pet. It could be anyone's. And before we go, because I have to let you guys a doctor's appointment in 10 minutes, I've got to know, what is this about, you guys? The uncased pillow. And then remember, we talked about that mattress cover. I showed you guys like what Crime Sleuthin told me that she thought it could be. I think that's really smart, possibly putting the knife in between the mattresses or something like that, which, by the way, I think she had a live that she had asked me to join at 1, but I'll probably go in there after my doctor's appointment. Thank you, Lynn. And Lynn, if you're available, you should call me around like 1:30. That's when my appointment will be over. But if not, then maybe tonight. Defense wound, stain, pillow. That's what I was wondering. Like, is it his blood? Maybe he injured himself, and then when he laid down, because surely he went home and laid in his bed with like stuff on him from the crime, you know. But did he think he was never going to be caught? He's that cocky. He may have thought that they will never even look in his apartment. When they brought out the mattresses with the blood stain, I thought I saw a stain of a hammer. I don't think it was between the mattresses. But why else? What else would it? That's the first thing that I've heard that's like, that kind of makes sense. Because, or was he using it to hold other stuff? Like, I don't know. I just don't understand what else it would be. I also saw, hey, Incognito Gypsy. I also saw somebody said, like, was Dylan under the bed? And I'm like, but this is his house. So that doesn't make sense to me either. I think the knife was ditched on the way home. That's crazy, Rich buddy. My cigarettes are getting up there these days. Maybe he has bed bugs. It's possible. That is why people will buy those. I forgot about that. I've heard of that. Doodles have a distinct type of hair. Yep, Peach, I think you may be right about the pillow, but does this mean that investigators cut his pillow? Certainly it doesn't mean that he cut a pillow. I know that sounds so stupid, but I mean, Didn't he have a mark on his face? But LFT, no, because the first appearance, he didn't have the mark. It was the second one. So I don't think that he had that at home, but he did have him. He had on his first court appearance, he did have a scar on the side of his neck that looked as if it was like nails, possibly. I don't think this was his first murder. Oh, by the way, and since it reminds me, because you just joined Funyuns, I'm going to be posting a membership giveaway here soon, and maybe we can do I have, a good amount of members, but I don't know if you guys would want to do like a members only live or something. Let me know if you want. Actually, maybe I'll make a post and you guys can let me know your thoughts on that. But I just appreciate you guys. Hey, Nadie. Good to see you, beauty, and that's okay. I know you guys have your lives and all that kind of stuff. $23 a pack. Oh, my God. Why did he have 2 top and bottom mattress covers? Why are they labeled C? I have a cover on my mattress. It came with the cover to keep on it. I certainly don't have bed bugs. Hey, bed bugs, I've seen people get those who are really clean people. It scared the crap out of me, and from buying used furniture and stuff like that. Oh, Lisa, you have one like that? They're so pretty. It does. It leaves a lot for speculation. It's quite confusing. I think it's his blood. That would be great. Yes. Okay. Well, then if you guys want to, let's do that. Oh, I'm happy that you're here, Lisa. I'm happy all you guys were here. I have to let you guys go and go to this stinking doctor's appointment, but I'll definitely be back soon with whatever else comes out and some other cases too and all that kind of stuff. My gosh, Angie, that's crazy expensive. I did know that Crime Sleuthin has this live going on that I may be a part of. If you guys are interested in that, that's starting now. And then Brittany had a live at 12 as well, but she pushed hers back to 3 because I was going live at 11:30. So if anybody is interested over there on Allegedly with Brittany too, that'll be at 3. Okay, Mama Bear, then let's do it. If you guys want to do it, I don't care. I'll make a post so I can choose a time when most of you guys can be there, because I want to do it when you guys can be live with me. And yeah, we'll have some fun, because I do appreciate you guys so much. I really do. Weed is cheaper than cigarettes now. Yes, bed bug stains are little dots, little blood dots. The marks were new from that day. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bismo Funyuns. I know what that's like, because we took care of my grandfather and my grandma, my grandfather, we took care of him both of them until they had to go to hospice the last week or 2. And it was really tough. All the falls and injuries, and it just was really tough on my parents, and it was tough on me because it was tough on my parents. I was a teenager. So I'm so sorry that I'm glad that we can bring some cheeriness to your day. Now I need a shower because I'm itchy. Okay. So I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for being here. Thank you to my mods. Thank you to the members. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Cherry. I appreciate that so much. I love you guys and appreciate you more than you know. I really, really do. And I hope you guys have a great day. Okay. Ooh, yes, Amber. I'll drop the link. Hold on just a second. Wait. Which link am I supposed to drop? No, grab it. Or did Crazy Mama drop it? Oh, thank you, Crazy Mama. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I thought that's the link, but I wasn't for sure. And then Crazy Mama got me. So thank you. All right. Bye, MK. Bye, you guys. Everybody, I love you. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, Rambo is doing a lot better. He's running around here like nothing ever happened. And thank you guys for even caring about that. I appreciate it. I love you, Lisa. I love all you guys. Okay, bye.